This
Recording,
conference will now be recorded.
please. Thank you. Karen, the opening statement, please.
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, I hereby announce that adequate notice of this meeting, as required by said act, has been provided by adopting a schedule of regular meetings for the year 2021, which schedule was posted on the Borough Hall Bulletin Board as well as the Borough website and forwarded to both the South Jersey Times and the Sentinel of Gloucester County and filed with the Borough Clerk on January 2nd, 2021.
Roll call.
Mayor Wallace,
Here.
Mr. Casabone,
Present.
Mr. D'Alessandro,
Here.
Mr. Fiola,
Here.
Mr. Halter,
Here.
Ms. Miller,
Here.
Mrs. Spence, Mrs. Spence.
She did disappear from the screen.
Yeah, she must be having technical difficulties. Mr. Melandro,
Here.
Mr. Scafidi,
Present.
Mr. Brunimer, and
I'm here.
Mrs. Spence says she's here.
Thank
My-
you. Karen.
My network connection was lost. I apologize.
Yeah, we seen Franny in the picture.
Yeah, he had to come up and undo his network connection.
Gotcha.
Any questions in regards to the bills?
No question. No question.
Hey, we're gonna skip over the agenda items and go to the administrator updates and make sure we try to get these three in quickly. Mayor, I can either give an update on the DEP notification, or I know you may want to do that, or Tim, however you choose, Mayor.
Is this a closed meeting matter for the DEP notification for cause of possible litigation?
We don't have it as closed, Tim.
We don't, so it could be to the degree we end up in litigation. If just a general update, I think we could accomplish that at the moment. We're not going to spell out any specifics, right, Mayor?
Nope. We're just, if you want to brief, if you would like to brief everyone on where we are with that, you can.
Sure. Just quickly, yesterday afternoon, we had a conference call with our environmental counsel, Chris Gibson from Archer Law. And Chris sent out basically an email today asking for additional time to respond to and address the proposed notice and our concerns with that notice. And those concerns were discussed and addressed yesterday in that conference call. Chip led the way for the borough in bringing out our concerns. So as of today, there is an email back asking for an additional 30 days as well. In addition, Chip has sent back a modified response, which is more consistent with what the DEP had wanted prior to our conversation. And he has not heard back, at least I'm not aware of him having heard back yet on that draft. Not that that is the final draft, but he had sent back an additional draft. So that's kind of where we are.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Timmy, he sent the first one up with the language that he changed. And if I'm correct, didn't they send something back only letting a couple things in? They didn't let all that he had wrote that he wanted to put in there. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. They had said that it was unacceptable and that we were only permitted to remove the lead portion.
So now he sent another one up with what they told him to eliminate. That's eliminated, and he sent it up, and we're waiting to hear back if they accept that.
That is correct, George. It was sent back yesterday, I believe.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Tim, aren't we asking for an additional 30 days to fully understand the whole capacity of the situation as well?
We are doing both. That's correct. Yep, we have done both.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions on that?
I have a quick one. If in fact we do have to send this letter that's worded by the DEP, is there any legality or reason we couldn't send something out after that to kind of further explain it to our residents, or is that forbidden?
I understand the question. I probably at this point would run that by our environmental counsel, just to make sure we don't expose ourselves to some potential liability, but I guess we could bring that up in our next conversation, Danielle.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions on that? Okay, Mark promised me the next one will be about 30 seconds. So Mark?
Okay, with respect to item number 2 for Glassboro Avenue streetlight, several months ago, one of the residents on Glassboro Avenue, which is a dead end, requested the borough to look into putting a streetlight at the very dead end part, which is actually behind the daycare center and the Wilmer Street Park, Owens Park in that area. They came back with a price of $1,700.72 to install a pole, run a wire, and put another light back there to help better light the street, to avoid people parking at the dead end and having activities there. So it's up to council whether you wish to proceed with that, to have that authorized to put it in. We'll have to coordinate the location and put a stake in the ground so they know where to put the pole, and they get the utility markouts, and they would proceed. So it's up to the council if you wish to proceed with the installation of that light.
Is it okay within our budget? Are we fine with that, Eddie?
Yeah, Karen shaking her head, yes. We could find $1,700.
All right, then do you need a motion? I think it's a good idea.
You do need a motion.
Did somebody check and make sure that it was definitely a need for it? Like it wasn't just, one person, you know what I'm saying? Was it vetted that way?
Yeah, it is dark back there. I think we also had the police department go back there with their staff to take a look at it also.
Okay, well, I'm for it as long as we can pay for it, and that's fine.
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a
I'll
second?
second it. I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Okay, so Mark, you'll take that from here. You'll
Yes,
follow
I'll
that.
coordinate with Karen and get that over to Tim Bateman at Atlantic Electric. Yep, thank you.
All right, appreciate it. And lastly, I don't know if I'm turning this over to the mayor or to Danielle. So either one of you, the Board of Health Initiative.
Yeah, that's going to be what Danielle had reached out to me, so I'll give the floor to Danielle and she can explain to council what a Board of Health is trying to do.
Okay, basically, the Board of Health is approaching mayor and council with a request to consider partnering with us, our schools, Rowan, faith-based and community organizations, et cetera, to combat racism. Tonight, on their behalf, I'm asking for council to approve and adding a discussion about their proposal on the agenda for the next work session on May 6th, with a representative from the Board of Health to present at that work session to lay out the details of this initiative and answer any and all questions of the same. I can answer questions, but I'm kind of limited on the scope and depth of the program. I mean, I don't want to misrepresent it. I'd rather have the Board of Health. This is something that was passed through, that was approved through the Board of Health. They're all on board with this initiative. And I don't know if you guys recall, but I guess I jumped the I didn't follow the proper channels, and I just sent an email to everyone last June that kind of died on the vine. So we're revisiting this again, and would like the opportunity to present it to mayor and council at a work session.
You're not talking about the county Board of Health, are you?
No, I'm talking about the Glassboro Board of Health, our commission, or committee, or whatever you want to call that.
The board.
Do we need to make a motion for that?
Motion or just vote to put it on the agenda for the next meeting? I don't know. Timmy?
Yeah, kind of a general consensus. Is there? I mean, I guess what we're seeing is historically, if we look back at the history of the Board of Health, it was done back in the day when they didn't have county Board of Health, and then you had nurses on staff, food inspectors. All that has changed with the advent of the county Board of Health, and what you see now are local boards of health that are required by statute. The roles they play vary in many municipalities. Some don't do any, some do some do a lot. Danielle, I think, and her members are now looking to kind of go beyond, I would assume, the traditional Board of Health type things, swine, flu, and enter into this mental health area. I mean, boards of health run rabies clinics. They run health fairs for the community where they have different people show up to provide different types of health-related services that citizens can participate in. And I think now you're looking and suggesting that you want to venture out into mental health directly through the Board of Health. Danielle, would that be fair?
Well, I guess that declaring, basically saying that racism is a mental health crisis, or a community health crisis, could fall under mental health. Yes. So it's basically just an initiative to educate the community as to what racism is and where it exists in our community. We all see what's going on nationally, and obviously we think that doesn't happen here, and that's great. But just to raise the awareness of where it does exist in our lives here in Glassboro and the surrounding community. It's just really an educational conversation initiative, and that's something that the Board of Health really is feeling that they want to get behind and pursue to bring to the citizens of Glassboro.
Danielle, there was mention in that paper, this is just a quick question. They reference a Facebook page. And is that initiative revolving around that Facebook page, or is that just a part of the initiative that they're trying to pursue?
We wanted to start a Facebook page to just basically use it to communicate our events and things that were happening for the Board of Health, not necessarily just this initiative, but other things we may want to bring back to it. We used to have a small health fair every year at Renland Park, and we were thinking about maybe incorporating something like that back into our duties. This is a board of people that volunteer their time to sit on the Board of Health, and I just think it's a good idea to give them something to do and get behind something, because otherwise they're just meeting 4 times a year for no apparent reason. So I really think that having a Facebook page, and I don't think it'll be used, exorbitant amount, but we could actually post things about health, about different things that would be helpful to educating our community about health matters. And so that would be what the Facebook page would be used for, and mainly just advertising events and like saying we're going to have a seminar about a specific topic. You can sign up here. Here's your Facebook page link and whatever. So Facebook is just the modicum of communication that we're all comfortable with. We're not tweeting or Instagramming or anything like that. We're not that good.
Who would maintain the page?
I'm not sure how that's why I guess we haven't had this discussion. It would be an administrator from the borough would have, I guess, the ultimate control of it, and probably a few members of the Board of Health would be co-administrators where they can post things and create events and put them on there. So that, I believe that's how that works. Because I don't know how like the Park and Rec Facebook page or any other Facebook page from other borough departments work. I'm not sure how that's set up, but I would say they would be similar to that.
Yeah, I think that, this is obviously going to take a little more time unless the other members of council have a distinct decision on whether to see it or not, that we would probably move to have this brought to a work session where we could marinate over it a little more. Wonder anybody's thoughts to that.
Mayor, when you say brought to a work session, do you mean have the Board of Health make their presentation, or we as council discuss it more at a work session?
Well, that's a good question. And I think that's up to council. I guess my question to council is that with the information that they have been given today, are they comfortable? Is everyone comfortable bringing the Board of Health representatives in for a presentation, or do we want to discuss this amongst ourselves at the work session in greater length? I put that to you.
I'd like to hear from the Board of Health. It doesn't have to be a formal presentation, but I think council should hear from some members and get their ideas as to, if they have anything to add to what Danielle said. I think it would be beneficial that we hear from them.
Okay.
I really feel that you should too, because I'm not doing it justice at all. So, yeah.
So is a consensus amongst council that we'll ask them to come to our next work session?
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I think they should.
Yes, I think it's a good idea.
Very nice. Okay. If I may, real quick, before we leave the subject, to it, because Danielle alluded to this at the beginning of her presentation about the confusion. So I would just ask all the member of councils, everybody on this call, that if anyone from outside of the governing body, residents, business owners, and such, approach any of you with ideas, thoughts, complaints, whatever it may be, please direct them to email, phone, contact myself or Ed, somebody at the borough, and not make it your responsibility to follow up on those issues, because it's their responsibility to voice their concerns or thoughts. Yeah.
Will do, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, so as I understand it, we will put it on the May 6th work session. Be prepared to stay long that night, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, next part of this, I'd like to have a motion to open this meeting to the public.
So moved.
I have a
Second.
motion, I have a second. I have a second. All in favor, state aye.
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 Against? Ayes have it. If there's anyone right now in the public who would like to address mayor, council, just for this portion of the work session of the normally scheduled council meeting, now is the time.
Well, hearing none, I move the public portion be closed.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state aye.
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 Against? Motion carries. There is nothing in close. So at this point, Karen, if you could review the agenda items, that would be fabulous.
Of course. Sorry, technical difficulties here. My computer doesn't want to scroll. Okay. We have no proclamations or presentations. I have one public hearing, which is the 2021 municipal budget. I also have approval of the minutes of March 9th, 2021, as well as closed session, March 9th, 2021. New business, I have a request for approval for New Jersey State Firemen's Association membership application, Molly M. Graff and Matthew J. Myers. And then we come to the engineer's report. Mark, did you want to do that now or you want to hold off? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Apologize for that. Yeah, I just
No
update on some of the construction is progressing, so I can report that in a regular meeting. That's fine.
Okay.
Unless anybody has any questions.
All right, moving on. So then we have just a handful of resolutions. Resolution 11121, resolution authorizing refund of street opening performance guarantee to J. Wisely Investments LLC in the amount of $750. Resolution 11221, resolution authorizing refund of tax overpayment, block 408.23, lot 29, in the amount of $366.46. Resolution 11321, resolution authorizing refund of tax overpayment, block 197.04, lot 125, in the amount of $2,350.29. Resolution 11421, resolution authorizing refund of sewer due to billing adjustment, account number 5915-0, in the amount of $4,405. Resolution 11521, resolution authorizing cancellation of checks over 6 months old to the Glassboro Municipal Court bail account at the request of the Municipal Court Administrator. Resolution 11621, resolution authorizing cancellation of checks over 6 months old to the municipal court general account, and that is at the request of the municipal court administrator. Resolution 11721, resolution of the Borough of Glassboro, Gloucester County, appointing conditional redeveloper and authorizing execution of a memorandum of understanding. This is for New Jersey home builders and developers LLC, South Delsey Drive, and that's for South Delsey Drive. Resolution 11821, resolution authorizing agreement for professional services adopted by the Borough of Glassboro, Sickles and Associates Incorporated for Green Acres, Owensfield Solar Diversion Forestry evaluation in the amount of $1,950. Resolution 11921, resolution authorizing AIG plan administrator for the Borough of Glassboro, Karen Passioni, and this is just to authorize signatures. Resolution 120-21, resolution of the Borough of Glassboro appointing Raymond A. Batten as hearing officer for pending police disciplinary matter, and that is upon the recommendation of Labor Council. Does anyone have any questions?
No questions.
No, ma'am.
Okay. That's all I have.
Thank you, Karen. Well, we have, to my surprise, we have 9 minutes till we start the regular scheduled meeting.
Guys, people, real quick, I just, I hate to go off agenda, but there's something that came up last night at the parade meeting. I just wanted to run by you. Is Jack Manning on here somewhere?
Jack Manning is not in attendance this evening.
I don't know if we have to, finalize this by him, but I think you guys can give me the answer, perhaps. We had talked about pulling the plug on the parade May 1st. However, being that we've got everything in place and it's pretty much, not much of a difference between May 1st and May 15th, as far as everybody being lined up and ready to go, we thought we would wait till May 15th because it's very possible that the governor could lift restrictions, May 15th, and then we could have the parade. So if you guys are okay with that, and if you're okay with us reaching out to all of our participants and giving them this option to, hang on until then, we are definitely having the memorial service regardless. And a lot of the participants in the parade also participate in that anyway. So it's kind of a twofold thing. So what do you think about that? May 15th being our deadline instead of May 1st?
Well, if it can still be done logistically, it might be better.
Everybody feels comfortable with it. We're just going to go ahead and let everybody know.
Anybody opposed to holding off till May 15th at this point?
No, the only concern would be that I would think of would be making sure that if for some reason the governor doesn't lift the restriction, that we are able to get the word out to everybody in enough time so we don't have people gather. So that would be my only concern.
I think with social media, Facebook, that type of thing, and we could also maybe do a robocall to the homes in Glassboro or something of that effect to say the parade's been canceled, but there's still a memorial service, because anybody can come to the memorial service. There's no limit on the size of that crowd. Not that we'll get a huge crowd, but you know what I'm saying. So,
are there any timetables put around the string bands and stuff like that? Is there any money at risk by moving it from May 1 to 15?
We do have contracts, and that's another thing we were going to, Charlene was going to reach out to Timmy to talk about, make sure we're okay there too, because we don't want to have to pay a bunch of bands for not coming. But last year we had the same thing happen. Everybody understood, and I think they'll all understand this year as well. We've got a bunch of really repeat and bands and good people, so I don't think we'll have any issues there. And I'll make sure we haven't paid it. We don't pay anybody till parade day, so I guess legally we'd have to check into that. But like I said, same thing happened last year. We had all the contracts signed and ready to go, and we canceled because of COVID. So It'll be the same thing now. Technically, we didn't really have a say in the parade. It was posted on the website before we even had our first meeting that we were having a parade. So we just assumed we were supposed to go ahead and move forward. So that kind of started the whole ball rolling. We probably, looking back, should have had a talk about it. But I just feel confident that I'm optimistic that the restrictions will lift and we'll be able to have it. But that's just me being sunny. So, I mean, if you guys don't have any problem with the 1st to 15th and we run it by Jack Manning, are you okay with us? Consider. And of course, have Timmy maybe look at the contracts and make sure nothing's, they're not very wordy, so I can't imagine there's anything that would legally bind us to pay any bands if we cancel on the 15th.
Well, I think we should just look at the contracts to make sure there's no difference, to your point, Danielle, between canceling 30 days in advance versus 15 in advance.
Yeah, I agree. And also, we're going to make a personal phone call to each and every group and say, this is what we're up against. Do you guys want to bow out now and look for it elsewhere? You can do it now. We're going to do that right away. Or do you want to wait till May 15th and see? I think a lot of the cases, a lot of these bands don't have any other options because all the towns are canceling their parades locally here. So they could go to another state and play or whatever, but we're going to give that option now.
Any other questions on it? Or Tim, do we need a vote to move it to May 15th?
Sure, we can just, yep, that would work. Yep, or just, yeah, no, I mean, it looks like Danielle wants a definite on the 15th. So yes, a motion to give the deadline on whether to continue or cancel as of May 15th.
I'll make that motion for May 15th.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state aye.
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 Do I have to abstain?
No.
Yeah, you can vote on, you can vote.
I vote yes.
Against? It'll be May 15th for the parade decision.
Call it. Okay. Thanks, guys. And look at that. I used up all that time, so we only have 3 minutes.
I have a quick question before we get started. For the next council meeting is going to be in chambers. Are we going back to our regular 8 p.m. time, Karen?
That's up to you, Mayor. I did want to talk to you about that. So I figured we were going back to the 7 p.m. work session and then the 8 p.m. start time for the council meeting.
Right.
So,
I have, that's what I would think as well, unless anyone has an objection to that. We just go back to the way we were doing things pre-March 2020.
I'm sorry. I also want to go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to know that for our safety, my office ordered plexiglass shields so everyone can be up on the dais. And we also worked with Jack to get a scanner for temperature, as well as automatic hand dispenser for hand sanitizer.
Very nice.
Oh, very good.
Does anybody like staying early and just keeping it early, or does everybody feel really strongly about moving it back to where it was?
It should be. It's a regular council meeting. We ought to keep the regular time that we had it at 8 o'clock and 7 o'clock. I mean, it's a regular council meeting, right?
Yeah, but this would be a good opportunity if we ever wanted to move it up an hour. People are used to it. It's been going on for a year. So just throwing it out there.
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, my only thinking is why it was 7 and 8 is because, the hours between 5:30 and 6:37 are when people usually eat dinner. So if people wanted to come to a council meeting, I mean, what the way we're doing it now, they can have dinner and be at the council meeting.
That's right.
So that's the only thing I'd be thinking about.
Okay.
So I guess just for the record, a motion to resume our regular council meetings to the public as a public meeting in the municipal building and not by Zoom.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, state aye.
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 Against? Ayes have it.
7 PM.
Mayor, it's your meeting.
All right.
Do we
All
need
right.
to adjourn yet?
I'd like to call the regular meeting of the mayor and council for the Borough of Glassboro for April 13th, 2021 to order. Karen, could you please read the opening statement?
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, I hereby announce that adequate notice of this meeting as required by said act has been provided by adopting a schedule of regular meetings for the year 2021, which schedule was posted on the Borough Hall Bulletin Board as well as the Borough website and forwarded to both the South Jersey Times and the Sentinel of Gloucester County and filed with the Borough Clerk on January 2nd, 2021.
Thank you. We all rise and salute the flag, please. I
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Karen, roll call, please.
Mayor Wallace,
Here.
Mr. Casabone,
Present.
Mr. Delisandro,
Here.
Mr. Fiola,
Here.
Mr. Halter,
Here.
Ms. Miller. Ms. Miller, you're, I apologize, you're muted. Mrs. Spence,
Here.
Mr. Melandro,
Here.
Mr. Scafidi,
Present.
Mr. Brunemer.
Here.
Okay, we have no, thank you, Karen. We have no proclamations or presentations. So at this time, I'll turn the meeting over to our borough solicitor.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. On our agenda this evening, first item, we have a motion to have a public hearing on our 2021 municipal budget, if council so moves for that public hearing at this time.
Move that the public hearing be open.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Fiola, seconded by Council President Casabone. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Floor is now open for anyone who wish, oh wait, that's a resolution, I'm sorry. Was that a roll call, Tim? I'm sorry.
No, Mayor, you're correct. At this point, we are just opening the meeting for any
For the
public
public
comment on the budget. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so if anyone from the public wishes to make comment on the resolution may do so at this time.
Hearing none, move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Roll call, please.
I'm sorry.
Mayor.
Well, I'm really lost today.
Actually, Karen, I think it was just closing the public hearing. We didn't.
Yeah, I
move.
didn't move for
Oh, I'm
adoption.
sorry.
If you want, Tim, I can move.
Yep, that'd
If
be
you want,
fine.
I can move for adoption. I'm sorry.
No, please do. That would make sense, Councilman
I
Fiola.
can move
Thank
for
you.
adoption. I thought there was going to be a discussion, but we could have a discussion. I just want to say something very briefly. We can do that after the motion and the second, so my apologies. So that's a motion to close the public portion and move for adoption of the municipal budget.
And that being resolution 90-21. Thank you.
Right. So there's a motion on the floor by Councilman Fiola. Do I have a second?
I'll second again.
Second one, seconded by Councilwoman Spence. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr.
Mayor,
Costa,
I'd just like to, just a very, very brief discussion on the motion. When this was brought up before, I just mentioned briefly that, again, we are not raising the municipal tax rate. I want to thank Ed Melandro and Karen Passioni for the wonderful job they've done. We had a very, very difficult and trying year last year, being the COVID year. We had many things happen that put a demand on the budget, and yet we managed to save the residents of Glassboro from having a tax increase. So my thanks to them. And with that, we can have the vote. There's no further discussion.
Any other further discussion for council? Okay, Karen, can you commence the roll call vote, please?
Mr. Casabone,
Yes.
Mr. D'Alessandro,
Or.
Mr. Fiola,
Or
Mr. Halter,
Yes.
Ms. Miller. She says yes, but I see her saying yes. Thumbs up.
There we go.
Thumbs up. Mrs. Spence,
Yes.
thank you.
And the motion carries. I will now entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of March 9th, 2021, as well as the closed executive session of March 9th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Councilwoman Spence, seconded by Councilman D'Alessandro. All those in favor state aye.
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 Opposed? Any abstentions? That motion carries. We have no communications, so I'll move to committee reports and begin with Council President Casabone.
Thank you, Mayor, but I have nothing at this time.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilman D'Alessandro.
Mayor, I have nothing this time also.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Fiola.
Mayor, beyond my comments regarding the municipal budget, I have nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilman Halter.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Mayor. I have nothing this evening. Thank you.
Good evening, Councilman. Thank you very much. Councilwoman Miller.
Looks like she has nothing, huh?
That's it. There you go.
I keep getting locked out.
We hear you now,
You
Councilman.
know,
Oh, you can? Okay. Well, yes, I do have a couple of things. Just a reminder that the track and field program is active again this year. We had to postpone it last year. And a reminder for the annual Park and Recreation June golf tournament, which will be held June the 11th at Pittman Golf Course. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you, Councilwoman. And Councilwoman Spence.
I have nothing at this time, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, I did forget one thing, if I may.
Yes, sir, Councilman Halter.
Yeah, just as a reminder, the community, there's going to be the Community Paint Day coming up soon. There's still some slots available to sign up for the mural project at the downtown square this Saturday.
Very good. Thank you very much. Duly noted. We have no unfinished business. So Karen, do we have any new business?
Yes, Mayor, I need approval for New Jersey State Firemen's Association membership applications for Molly M. Graff and Matthew J. Myers.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Yeah, motion on the floor by Council President Casabone, seconded by Councilwoman Miller. All those in favor state aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. At this time, I'll ask Mark for the engineer's report, please.
yes, good evening. Thank you. Just brief updates. The contractor will be back out on Holly Bush Boulevard, Holly Bush Drive, excuse me, to complete the soil restoration work. There's some yard work left out there to be done. So they'll be out there probably Friday because of a chance of rain on Thursday. So I'm waiting to get that out of the way and try to get out there on Friday. For those, they are making a lot of progress at Matt Blatt. So they're getting down to the point where they're going to be doing restoration. and some landscaping, mulching, and things along those lines. So we're trying to coordinate with them. At this present time, they don't have their DOT permit to get their front driveway, which has not been constructed, but everything else is coming into place pretty well for those. And Bonesaw has done the same thing. They've base paved their rear parking lot behind their building. They're still waiting to start their construction of their main building and have their equipment delivered so they can begin doing that. But that is going while they remain open for those items there. And the Fern Road Water Tower is underway now. They are doing the site preparation, and the sandblasting will probably begin right about the end of April or beginning of May for those. So you'll start seeing some more truck activity back there with people coming, going each day.
Nice. Thank you very much, Mark. Does anyone have any questions for Mark?
Thank you, Mark.
Thank
Sure.
you. Now, at this time, I'll turn the meeting again over to our Borough Solicitor.
Yep, thank you, Mayor. On our consent agenda this evening, we have the following resolutions. Number 111, resolution authorizing refund of street opening performance guarantee, J. Wisely Investments LLC, in the amount of $750. Resolution 112, resolution authorizing refund of tax overpayment, block 40823, lot 29, in the amount of $366.46. Resolution 113, authorizing refund of tax overpayment, block 197.04, lot 125, in the amount of $2,350.29. Resolution 114, refund of sewer due to billing adjustment, account number 5915-0, in the amount of $4,405. Resolution 115, authorizing cancellation of checks over 6 months old to the Glassboro Municipal Court bail account at the request of the court administrator. Resolution 116, authorizing cancellation of checks over 6 months old to the Municipal Court general account, also at the request of the court administrator. Resolution 117, resolution of the Borough of Glassboro, Gloucester County, appointing conditional redeveloper and authorizing execution of a memorandum of understanding, that is with New Jersey Home Builders and Developers LLC for the South Delsey Drive project. Resolution 118, agreement for professional services with the Borough and Sickles and Associate Inc. for the Green Acres Owens Field Solar Diversion Forestry Evaluation, in the amount of $1,950. Resolution 119, authorizing AIG Plan Administrator for the Borough of Glassboro, that person being Karen Passione, Chief Financial Officer, to act and sign on behalf of the Borough. Resolution 120, resolution of the Borough of Glassboro appointing Raymond A. Batten, retired Superior Court Judge, as hearing officer for a pending police disciplinary matter. There are the resolutions this evening. If council so moves for approval, roll call vote under our consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Okay, a motion on the floor by Council President Costabone, seconded by Councilwoman Spence. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Cossabone.
Yes.
Mr. Delisandro.
Four.
Mr. Fiola.
Four.
Mr. Halter.
4,
Ms. Miller.
4,
Mrs. Spence.
Yes.
That motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to open the meeting up to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Council President Costabone, seconded by Councilman Fiola. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to address Mayor and Council.
Hearing none, I move the public portion be closed.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Council President Costabone, seconded by Councilwoman Spence. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
aye,
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The public portion is now closed. And at this time, I will entertain a motion to approve all duly authorized bills.
Move that all duly authorized bills be paid.
Second it.
I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Fiola, seconded by Council President Casabon, to approve all duly authorized bills. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That motion carries. Any comments from our Borough Administrator, Ed?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. I would just like to say, to announce that at our next council meeting, which is scheduled for April 27th, we are going to be moving back to our regular time and in chambers meetings as we did before March of 2020. I'm excited about that. I would like to get that on the record. And with that, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Council President Casabon, seconded by Councilwoman Spence. All those in favor state aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. This meeting is now adjourned. Have a great evening, everyone. And like I said before, our next council meeting is scheduled for April 27th, 2021 at 8 p.m. at Borough Hall.
Aye. Have a nice night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, thank you.
Stay safe.